Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Flash for the win, and yeah, I haven't done a video in a very long time. But today, actually, I'm gonna bring my mic closer. I forgot a lot of stuff I had to record. Anyways, we're gonna be going into the Wildcard Qualifier. So not your typical qualifier, but the Wildcard Qualifier for the ASL5, because as we know, Bisu dropped out to go to the military, which meant that his fourth seed, or at least one of his seeded what was it? Seeded placements in the round of 4, that would translate to a round of 16 seed, was vacated. So we had to have someone take over his spot. The wild card was played between all 4 players in the round of 8 who ended up losing to their semifinal quarterfinal counterparts. So that is going to be Killer and Rain, as well as Mind and Sulky. And so I think they're playing on the same qualifier maps as last time. So the Gladiator, it's either Fighting Spirit or Circuit Breaker, and maybe Match Point, I want to say. So we're going to get in here, and we're going to have the map played on Gladiator. Cross map positions here. Teal Zerg is going to be Killer, also known as Baxter, and the purple Protoss is going to be Rain. I'm a little bit rusty for commentary, so gonna try to put in a little bit more effort. I just finished up with midterms, so I do have a little bit more time. I am studying for LSATs all at the same time though, but I can take a little bit of a break once in a while, so this is kind of gonna be my break. I'm gonna try to do this as much as possible. I've been playing like a lot of CSGO lately and stuff like that, and a lot of PUBG because I'm on my school team for that. So I felt like, you know, if I've been doing all of that, then I should have time for StarCraft commentary, and I know a lot of people have been wanting me to come back. So this is kind of like, I wouldn't call it exactly a comeback video, but it's more of like, if I have time and I really want to look at the games and see if they're interesting to cast, then I'm going to do it. Anyways, we're going to have Killer here with the Overpull build. Very standard these days. Generally, Zergs don't want a 12 hatch because cannon rushes nowadays are kind of strong. Protosses, I guess, have found out how to cannon rush people, which is kind of cool, yet at the same time kind of scary because, God, no one likes cannon rushes, you know? But anyways, so yeah, cross map position, a little bit disfavored for the Protoss player, I would say, in my opinion, because, well, actually, it depends. In the early game, it's a little bit detrimental to the Zerg player because they can't really do like a 3-hatch Hydra Bust as effectively due to the slightly longer rush distance, which may allow for a couple of cannons to go up. But we will see this probe here from Rain trying to deny this expansion for as long as possible. And Killer did not send out a second drone, so he's not going to be able to kind of expand to another gas expansion or even just to that mineral only base. And Rain's doing a very good job here of just stalling this expansion out for as long as possible. It looks like Killer will be able to put it down, but at the same time, Rain's done his job. Like, Rain doesn't want him to, doesn't want Killer to expend a lot of minerals into Lings, because then it forces him to get a cannon up earlier than he wants to, and he wants to go Nexus right after Forge, which is very standard against Overpull build, especially cross positions. So again, very standard. We got the gas coming up for Zerg, as well as the 3rd drone going out to take its 3rd base down at the 6 o'clock expansion. And Rain going to be very safe as usual. Just get a photon cannon and the gateway. He could have actually gone gateway first before cannon because the Lings aren't really doing anything right now, but wanted to play a little bit safe just in case Killer made, you know, 4 to 6 Zerglings instead of just the initial pair of 2. Because sometimes Zergs will just do that, you know, they'll just be like, I'm going to make 6 or 8 Lings. And you're like, why would you ever do that? That's really bad. And you should never do that. But they'll do it, and they'll rush you, and you'll just die. That's happened to me actually quite a few times. This guy just opens up 8 Lings, and I went Nexus into Gate into Cannon, and I just died. Because you don't expect 8 Lings to come out off of a 12-hatch build or whatever. But anyways, I digress. Pro's being transferred here to this Nexus. Already got the gas coming up as well for Rain, so we're going to look for that Cybernetics core getting plopped down shortly, as well as the 2nd gas probably going down soon as well. Rain doing a very good job of keeping that probe alive for as long as possible. Still in the base, sees the layer. So he probably knows that Killer has that 3rd hatchery, especially because of the drone count. There's no extra tech. There's no extra Zerglings being made right now. So he's doing a pretty good job of keeping this probe in, scouting everything, making sure that everything is standard. You know, doesn't see a hatchery or a Hydra stand, sorry, immediately. He's like, whoa, like, what is this? 2nd assimilator now going up for Rain, so he's going to transition into that double gas, very big tech. So we're not going to see a very fast Zealot timing. Generally, when we see this, usually if the Protoss is going for that kind of 4-gate mass Zealot speed timing play, they'll only stick on 1 gas because they don't need the gas. They don't get a Stargate off that. They don't get any other gas except for the upgrades for the Citadel of Dune and the +1. So there's no reason to get the second gas in that situation. And that build is actually getting a little bit more popular these days. I really like it. The 4-gate speed lot. It's very, very strong, actually, especially if the Zerg's not ready for it, because they think, like, oh, yeah, he's just going to go Corsairs and whatnot, and because they don't want to lose an Overlord, so they just keep an Overlord outside of the base, and you're just like, okay, that's fine. And then suddenly you see, like, a control group and half the Zealots just run at you, and you have, like, one sunken in the base, and you're like, okay, I guess I'm dead. But Rain is going to make sure that he blocks off this choke from any of these Zerglings coming in. And he's got 2 Zealots at the front. Looks like it's a... Ooh, maybe between the Zealot and the gateway is not a complete hole, or not a complete wall, but it looks like it is. Meanwhile, Citadel of Idun almost done. The first Corsair now coming out, as well as Killer getting up his Spire, as well as his extra hatchery. So again, very, very standard game here coming out. And the expansion path for Rain is going to be a little bit interesting to note. We might see him go for the middle only expansion at that inside 3 o'clock expansion, or he might go for the 12 o'clock with the gas. My guess is because Protosses typically need that 3rd gas, he's probably going to go for the 12 o'clock base, but it's a little bit further away. But yeah, at the same time, it's got that single ramp, so it's not going to be the most difficult to defend, but certainly it's not as easy as like a 3rd base on Fighting Spirit, for example, because of the fact that he does have a little bit of ways to run to the 12 o'clock base. So anyways, it looks like Killer is going to just be droning up here. Again, very, very standard. Wants to get as many drones as possible here before he begins transitioning into kind of the army building phase of the game. And something to note also on Gladiator is that because Zerg can't really do that typical way of expanding that he wants to, where he gets that 6 hatch at his 4th base, it's going to be a little bit more different. Rain actually playing very, very safe here. He's got a cannon inside of his main. I guess it's just to protect his Corsairs from the Scourge, but a lot of times we see a lot of pros just even skip that. Looks like these Torquers are going to pick up this Overlord. Will the Scourge get there in time? Looks like they will not. JK, lol. But yeah, this Corsair should get away if he maneuvers this properly. Ooh, that one Scourge might be able to make a connection here. Hitboxes are a little bit weird. He's got that DT out on the map to try to clean up some of these initial scouting Zerglings. Will this Corsair go down? He's trying to race at the cannon as fast as possible. And yeah, it's going to get there. Cannon is going to be able to pick off one of the Scourge. Really nicely done. And a couple more gateways going down. So it looks like it's going to be 4 gate and probably going to look for an expansion soon after that. Going to go for the gas. Here comes a DT. Overlord is going to see everything. DT is going to try to get in here. Snipes one drone and just walks out. He says, thank you very much for the lovely drone. Ooh, is it actually going to get sniped? Oh, 4 HP DT. It's going to live. Just walks in, snipes a drone. It's like, excuse me, please. I need to get out. And so it will. Yeah, Rain playing this very, very unusually safe. I guess he thinks that Killer is going to go for a very big, fast 5 Hydra, for a 5 hatch Hydra timing of some sort, go for a big, big bust, because he hasn't gone for the 6 gateways, and he forewent. Is it forewent or forgone? That's so interesting. I have to look at that. But basically, he didn't go for like kind of the mass sellout early on that I'm going to try to break you kind of style or push you back. He just went for 3 Zealots into High Templar immediately. Okay, he went up to 6 gateways now. But yeah, it's kind of interesting to note this. I guess he doesn't need those extra Zealots immediately. He saved the minerals to get maybe earlier 6 gate. And he's got these High Templar now as well as Storm coming up. But it's a little bit interesting. We'll have to see what this is all going down for. The Forge is not spinning for the +2. I guess he doesn't have enough gas for it just yet. He's got that +1 spinning as well for the Corsairs though. So they will be in effect very, very soon. Meanwhile, 1 Spore Colony at that natural base. And Overlord Speed already done now for Killer. So he's getting pretty well prepared for pretty much anything at this point. The DT cannot really do anything else right now. And it looks like +2 is now just started for Rain. We're going to say the Lings just try to poke in, get some scouting information, but not really going to see anything. DT here, fully charged up on those shields, but not much HP on, only 4. And yeah, once again, Rain getting deflected here on all accounts by Killer. And this is where Killer is going to begin to start doing a little bit of a move out. He wants to pressure Rain, because this is about the time that Rain wants to begin taking his 3rd base. And Killer's goal right here is just be like, no, I'm not letting you take a 3rd base. I'm going to make sure that if you try to take a 3rd base, you're going to lose a lot in return. And if you do take a 3rd base, I'm going to take a 4th and try to trade armies with you so that you can't attack my 4th base that's coming up. But a couple Lings. Yeah, I was about to say, going to look for the probe here. Will he be able to snipe the probe? Oh, it's a 5 HP. Does get the probe. Very nicely done here by Rain. He's going to stall out that 3rd base for quite a bit. And meanwhile, Killer, like I said, just going to go expand right now. for himself. And Dragoon range on the way. Quite a few High Templar back at home. So Rain just, I guess, doing kind of this delayed +1 timing, you could say. Not really going for that early +1 with like 7-8 Zealot timing. It's just instead, I'm just going to have a control group of Zealots out here, pressure you for a little bit, and run away. Because against Hydras, yeah, +1 Zealots don't do it that well unless the Zerg just doesn't micro at all. Nicely done here by Rain, picking up a couple of these overlords. Is going to really slow down this macro here from Killer. Good storm there by Rain, softening up a lot of those Hydras right now. And, ooh, not the best storm there for the second one, but, ooh, nice storms. Ooh, good storm dodge as well. Ooh, the second bottom storm did catch quite a few Hydras, though. And here come the Zealots. Will they be able to get on top of all these Hydras here, or will Killer have the micro here? He's got a lot of reinforcement Hydras, but the Zealots look like they will be able to catch on. Nice storm there by Rain. Is really softening up all these Hydras. The Hydras are all softened up right now, and it looks like the Zealots are going to begin to outnumber these Hydralisks, and I think he's going to be able to take this fight. Really well done there by Rain. He's going to be able to take that third base now pretty much uncontested because of the fact that he did so much damage with those, and all these overlords actually without any protection. Will Rain find these overlords? That's all we need to see right now, because if he finds those, it could just be game over at that point. The Killer is not going to be able to come back from losing all those overlords being so much supply down. They could also be setting up for a potential drop as well. So, you know, position all of his units in the center of the map, then move over to that 11 o'clock base area and load up all the overs, drop into the third base. That is a possibility. I don't think it's going to end up happening this game, but I think he's just trying to hide these overlords right now from these Corsairs. And if I'm Rain, I'm looking, where are these overlords? Where are these overlords? Because I know if I don't see them anywhere in the base, I don't see them over the army, they have to be somewhere on the map. They're probably alone. Corsairs do end up running over these Hydras. Does end up losing one, so not the biggest deal. He can always replenish them, and they're not too expensive at this point in the game with the third base going up. But the Killer is trying to set himself up here in between the army of Rain as well as this third base. Going to try to see if Rain is going to overcommit up this ramp. Maybe he can get something done here, but there's just way too many units here from Rain. Yes, he has the low ground, unfortunately, but these storms are just going to come in here and be able to demolish everything. The Dragoons do have that low ground miss, but it looks like all of the Zealots from the early attack were too low. They were softened up already, so they went down very quickly. One of the High Templars does go down, and it looks like that these Hydras are going to be out DPS the Dragoons, but there's no Overlord here, so the couple DTs here are going to be able to do really, really well against this attack. The Hydras trying to push in here. I think they should go after the High Templar right now. That is the key, is the High Templar. They will not. They're just going for the Dragoons instead, trying to soften up the army, the actual army of Rain, rather than the Spellcasters. He's got another control group of Hydras moving across the map. The problem is he didn't take that fourth base. You can notice over there at the 9 o'clock expansion, he didn't take that fourth base, so the longer this game goes on, the better chance that Rain is going to have to equalize the position. One Overlord overhead now. The DTs will be spotted, but right now that probe transfer to that third base. Great storms again, zoning storms, almost forcing the army of Killer to move forward into a position that they don't want to be in, and the couple of Zealots here are going to tank a lot of damage from the Hydras for the Dragoons, but looks like, yeah, the Overlord went down, so once again, the DT is doing a great job. Hydra's now picking off a couple more Corsairs, but again, without that fourth base, I do not think that Killer has an opportunity here to equalize the game. The third base now just now getting saturated. More gateways up for Rain. He's up to 8 gateways, I believe, and yeah, Killer is slowly slipping farther and farther behind. He tried to go for this big 6-hatch style with that 6 hatchery in the third base there, but no third gas, no future tech looks like from Killer. The fourth base hasn't gone up yet. Another great storm there by Rain. All those Hydras very, very low. The second storm was not as good, but again, the first storm did all the damage it needed to do, and with 8 gateways online and third base online, Rain is just going to be able to punish his army right here with that remacro, and I do not think that Killer is going to be able to withstand this pressure here from Rain. Especially not in that choke point where the Hydras need to fight in open ground. He's losing a lot of Hydras right now, bleeding out quite a few units, and Rain looks like in a fantastic position. He's doubled supply now of Killer. Killer, once again, not getting that fourth base. That is really important right now. If he needs to try to mount a comeback, it is going to be at fourth base. Rain does spot that there is none. He sees the drone just sitting right there, and he knows that, hey, I'm in a really good position right now. I can just throw down maybe, you know, 3 or 4 more gateways, and I'm going to be set because I got my third gas. I've got a big army. Killer doesn't have any economy to speak of right now, and if anything, he just looked to expand to that mineral only base and just set up a fourth base and roll this game through with a pretty simple macro win. Third gas just now coming up for Killer. Looks like Killer's probably going to try to begin expanding now to that fourth base. Ooh, DT coming in here, gonna be able to snipe off a couple of drones. Did only snipe off 2 so far, and Overlords are probably coming down. But at the same time, while Killer's going to try to deal with that DT, Rain is now moving across the map with this big army here. He's got +2 on those units, and he's going to try to take the high ground advantage really quickly. The Corsairs overhead trying to make sure they find the Overlord. No Overlord just yet. The Overlord's now coming in, and the DT will go down. But at the same time, because these Hydras are positioned in such a bad location right now, Rain is just going to bulldoze his way through the front, and Killer is going to try to set himself up for a flank, but Rain is too smart for it. He's just going to try to attack one side of the flank before the other side of the flank is ready. And now he's going to crash through. No Sungas to defend at all. A lot of Dragoons here. They do have the high ground. The high ground is going to try to go for a big flank here. Coming in from behind. There's actually not that many Zealots here. Great storm! Great storm from Rain. Killing off 8 Hydras in that one storm. All these Dragoons untouched right now at the front. All the Hydras trying to get in here, but the Zealots right on top of them. 16 kill Dark Templar. And that is going to be GG from Killer. Rain going to take game 1. I'm not sure what the exact, if it's a best of 3 or whatever, but really well done there by Rain. Fantastic game. Really great. Some good storms coming out of him. And Killer did not want to play a macro game. Just try to go for that 6 hatch. Deny your third for as long as possible. Protosses these days have gotten quite good at being able to stop that. So that will be either game 1 or the set. I think that because they're staying in their seats that it is just going to be game number 1. So we'll be right back. And we're going to come back with you with game number 2 coming up right after this.